Okay, hello, welcome back to Absolutely Math. In this video, you're going to learn about factorial notation. So what is factorial notation? Well, essentially, it's when you see something that looks like this. You have a number and an exclamation mark. Okay, now what's the formal definition of factorial notation? Well, the product of the first n natural numbers is called n factorial. So the product of the first n natural numbers is called n factorial, and it's written like this. N natural numbers. For instance, in the example I gave above, 5 is a natural number. So any number that belongs to the set of natural numbers, which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, natural numbers. So in the example I gave, the product of the first n natural numbers is the product of the first 5 natural numbers, because in our case, n is equal to 5 here. And so we would write it out as 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. The product of the first n natural numbers. Great. Let's take another example here. Consider 3 factorial. That would be written as 1 times 2 times 3, which is 6, or 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. Which you pick whatever looks nice to you. But you get the point here. It's the product of the first n natural numbers, and in our case, n is 3. So the product of the first 3 natural numbers, which we have here. 1 times 2 times 3. 6 factorial would be 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. The first 6 natural numbers. Now let's look at an example. So we have this product over here, and we're told to evaluate this product. We're going to do this using what we've learned about factorials. Okay, let's see. Well, the first thing is, what's another way we could look at this? Well, let's consider what 20 factorial is. 20 factorial would be the product of the first 20 natural numbers. So it would go like 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 all the way down to 1. So the first 20 natural numbers. Let's write that out. So 20 factorial, we would have 1 times 2 times 3 dot dot dot. I'm obviously not going to write it all out. Times 10 times 11 times 12 dot 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 times 20. And here we have 20 factorial. Okay, and what we want to evaluate here according to the question is this part. So the product here, 11 times 12 times 13, whatever is in between, times 20. And for us, in 20 factorial, that starts right around here, 11 and beyond. That would give us what we have in the question. How can we get to that point? Well, we have this part here to eliminate, to get rid of. How can we do that? Well, we have a product, we could divide. So let's do that. But we're dividing by something very specific here. 1 times 2 times 3 times 4, whatever's in between, all the way up to times 10. It's the product of the first 10 natural numbers. So how could we write this? That's basically, by the definition of factorial notation, or factorial, that's 10 factorial. The product of the first 10 natural numbers. 10 times 9 times 8, all the way up to 1. But here it's just written in the other way. Okay, so we can divide this whole expression by 10 factorial, because we have 10 factorial up here and we have one down here. So then they would cancel out and we would be left with this part, which is what we want to evaluate. So we can rewrite this and say this is equal to 20 factorial over 10 factorial. 20 factorial over 10 factorial is equal to 11 times 12 times 13 all the way up to times 20. And so putting this into the calculator would give us the answer. So what we've done here is, using our knowledge about factorials, we were able to simplify the problem and look at it from a different perspective, specifically in terms of factorials. And so we could just now straight away plug this into our calculators and evaluate it instead of multiplying 11 times 12 times 30 and all the way up to 20, which could be easier, but since we want to really show how factorials play out, I use this example. Okay, now what's sort of a generalized way of writing factorials? Or this sort of more generic way of writing factorials? Well, we saw by the definition of factorial, n factorial, the product of the first n natural numbers. So how could we write that out? Well, it would just be n multiplied by n minus 1, a number below, times n minus 2, a number lower than this one, times dot 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 all the way down to 1. So this you see here is a more generalized way of writing factorial. Because if we look at an example and map it to this general form, we see, take 5 factorial again. We have 5 times 5 minus 1 times 5 minus 2 all the way down to 1. Rewriting this, 5 times 4 times 3 times dot 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 times 1. Well, obviously here we're going to have a 2. So now you can see more clearly what we've done here. Okay, so thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next one. My email is down below. Send me any questions if you have any. Goodbye.